Hey TikTok, hey YouTube, my little sidekick ain't here this morning, honey. My son came and got him this morning to keep him for the day. I'm like, woo, 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 thank you, Jesus. But y'all, I was watching Donnie Dutch this morning on Morning Joe, and I love me some Donnie Dutch. But Donnie Dutch is a rich elitist. He just happens to be a Democrat. You know what I mean? And we glad for that. We're thankful for that. We don't want him to switch parties. But I'm bringing it because of what he said. They were talking about Mandambi, which I think it's Mugambi, the one that wants to be the mayor of New York. And evidently he had said some stuff supporting Palestine against Israel, and of course Donnie is Jewish, so he's all down for Israel. What you supposed to be down for your people, like, and don't get mad though, like when black people are now coming together to say, what can we do to help each other? People are not used to that, so they're like, people are changing. No, we're just finally deciding enough is enough. But enough about us, because that's not what this rant is about this morning. So Donnie said, well, he wants to cap real estate. Sounds good to me. They said it's almost impossible for the average everyday working American to live in New York. So what's wrong with putting a cap on real estate? How much money is enough money? You're billionaires. It's still not enough? Gosh darn. That's not enough for you? But he doesn't want that. That's the elitism of it all. And I say that to say this. Donald Trump the other day, he was talking, and I think he was talking about, New York, or it might have been in California. And he was talking about them building all of this low income housing, affordable housing. And because low income, when they say that, it's usually like in Tennessee, when they say that, it's $1,200 a month, where people still making minimum wage in a lot of instances. 750, 725, whatever minimum wage is. But anyway, so they were talking about that, and Donald Trump said, well, who would want them living next door to you? Would you want them living next door to you? These are your servers at the restaurants. These are your attendants in the bathroom in those ritzy hotels that hand you those little squares of tissue and make sure the little lotion things and stuff are filled up. These are your cooks at Waffle House that work 60 hours a week in most instances while taking care of their children. And the husband and wives working like a dog. You don't want them to have a home? Make it make sense. And so I say that to say this. In the Democratic Party, we are Big Tent. In the Republican Party, they're Big Tent too, but they coalesce around racism. In the Democratic Party, we all have different things that we want. But what's going to have to happen is each one of our parts of community are going to have to make it happen for ourselves. Like black people, we can't sit around and wait on the government to help us for nothing. And we never have. That's why we have to get out there and get it. Because even when we're saying we want you to be fair, other people come along and say, my God, why should you be fair to them? How would we feel better about ourselves if you're fair to them? Touch my purse. You see what I'm saying? So each one of us have to make it work for our community and what we're looking for. LGBTQ. Oh, and a lot of you haven't heard of him, but it was a young man. I don't know. I don't think he identified as trans. Sometimes he would dress up, sometimes he wouldn't. But it was I think it was Roland Bray, and he was in a wheelchair. And I first encountered him when we were all closed in from the big C, right? And I would enjoy watching some of his content, and him and Saucy Santana went back and forth at it. And he was just spicy, honey. He was in his wheelchair, but he would talk his talk, and but underneath it, it was a sadness. But along the line, a few years ago, he had gotten a boyfriend, and I don't know if they were still together, but he was just so happy. And I'm just so grateful that he got to have, because this life, you should have a little bit of pleasure out of it before you move on. But I don't even know if the young man was 30. if I'm misidentifying him, I'm sorry, y'all. And but I don't even know if he was 30, but he passed away recently. And condolences to his family, to his fans, because I enjoyed watching him too. Because he had that mouth, he would talk that stuff. Beyonce, when she did her clothing line, she sent him some clothes, and just a delightful, just delightful. Now he wasn't always delightful, but he was delightful to watch. And especially if you just wanted something just to get your mind off of everything, he was a lot of fun to watch. So my condolences to him. But back to that, with the LGBTQ plus community, they just want to be able to live. We just want to be able to live in the Democratic Party. So our thing is economy, economy, economy. That's got to be our number one thing. We can all coalesce around the economy. And for those elitists in our party, we deserve to be able to buy affordable housing too when we go to work every day. If somebody moves next door to you in an affordable home, it's not going to ruin your neighborhood. Because I'm going to tell you how I know. Because just think, the people that are gentrifying, like in my neighborhood, the people that are gentrifying, they're building five, $600 million houses all around me, bigger and bigger and bigger, all around me. And guess what? It ain't tearing our neighborhood up. It's not. And they moved in on us. We didn't move in on them. So that thing of low income people moving next door to you is gonna hurt your neighborhood. That's a lie. And it's taking our cost up, our price of our housing. It's also taking our property taxes up too, and that's not good for our elders. But I just wanted to bring that. We're a Big Ten party. I didn't mean for this video to be this long. I apologize. But we're a Big Ten party, and we can do the darn thing, okay? From an angry black woman out of Tennessee. Don't worry about council culture. Stay woke so you ain't got to get woke. And the have-nots will defeat the haves. Welcome to the Poor People's Revolution.